great over. Look at that. Double wicket maiden from the skipper. None for two.
Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Double Wicket Maiden. We're gonna be talking about women's cricket after so long. So Eman and I are both very excited. We're primarily gonna be previewing the upcoming tour of South Africa. If you haven't followed the news, South Africa is touring Pakistan. Our first match starts on 1st of September. We have three T20s at the start, and then the tour ends with 3 ODIs. So there are 6 games in total. We're all very excited about it. I for one can't wait. I feel like it's been forever since we've had a good long home tour. The last I think was the Ireland one, if I'm right, right? So like it's been a long time. And I'm really excited. Iman, what are your thoughts?
हाँ यार, like you said, I feel like ever since the what's it called, the FTP came out कि इस साल क्या क्या होगा, there's been a lot of hype, but it's finally happening. The last time we saw the players, like not counting the domestic season and not that emerging Asia Cup either, which was like 1.5 game हमें जो मिली थी वहाँ पे, we saw them at the World Cup, and that's like a lifetime ago. So
Yeah.
much has in men's cricket, and even in women's cricket things have happened. We lost our captain, we got a new one. We don't have a vice captain right now, but everyone has a pretty good idea of who it is. We lost Aisha Naseem, which was obviously heartbreaking for us as fans. And now we're looking forward to South Africa coming, and I think everyone who follows women's cricket a little bit knows this. It's kind of like those really cool fun facts, but South Africa is considered a really competitive team. I mean, right now, even at the World Cup, they did really well. It was a home World Cup for them, and then they nearly like caused a massive upset. But when Pakistan faces South Africa, even though if you look at the win-loss column, it's not really impressive. But if you really watch the games, we have made them work for it. And a lot of times, I would say especially I think the last game that we had, was it at the ODI World Cup? Maybe it was. That one we should have won. And
Yeah.
we've also won very recently. When I was writing my Alia article, I was just revisiting that. I was like, that feels like a lifetime ago. But we beat South Africa, and now they're coming home. And it really does feel like it's time to do it even better than we did before, because this is at home. This is in Karachi. Hopefully, the fortress. I mean, I don't think the fortress stands tall for Pakistan women, unfortunately, because we barely get to play the fortress. But we can start a new legacy. I don't know. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, I think like the World Cup game came to my mind too, because that was one of my biggest heartbreaks, that World Cup. Yeah, वो हम आखिरी over में हारे थे. It just like I sat. My cousin doesn't watch cricket at all, men's or women's, but she was, and at that time she was about to get married, so she was going out for like her wedding shopping, and that was the last over happening, and she just sat there with me. After a while, she's like, "अब मैं shopping करने कैसे जाऊँ?" So there's things like these that, like, but yeah, I'm really excited. I'm also excited because, like you said, it's been such a long time. Like we've seen them play idhar udhar, but not this squad. Like सब लोग इकट्ठे इस तरह. Because the Asia Cup, maybe Asia game, emerging Asia Cup, maybe they were playing under Fatma, but right now they're gonna play under Nida, and I'm really excited to see Nida captain. Because there's so many question marks, and I hope and pray that all of them will be answered. So like, there's a lot to look forward to this series entirely, and like whatever the outcome is, games, however they go, I want them to go well, and I want us to use it as a learning curve as well for like how we're gonna go ahead, because I feel like again with I'll give Bisma, Nida, Alia a couple of more years, but this is I think the time we had with the men's team in 2017 2016, when there is this new crop emerging, and I think that's happening right now with our women's team. So I really want them to start treating this time like that, because I mean the possibilities are endless with people like Fatma, of course, but even people like Shawal, who's getting a game, who hopefully gets a game, but we'll talk about that later. But everyone, I think I'm really excited for it. Let's just start talking because I'm gonna otherwise spoil what we're going to talk about next when I start talking about the players right now.
Okay. Playing 11 for the T20s, because those are the games up first. Who do you think is
Okay.
gonna start? You think Shawal is gonna start?
I don't have a playing 11 per se, but I'll just go ahead. I think Muniba Ali, I want Muniba Ali and Shawal to start. Of course, Nida, Alia, I think Bisma will play too. Aroob, I think will play because last time and hopefully get to bowl all her 4 overs because Tuba is not gonna be playing, I think. So Fatma, of course, Alia, of course. How many have I said already? Let me count. Muniba, Shawal. Who else did I say? I think I'm like Bisma, Nida, Fatma, Aroob. I'm not like counting it by position. I'm just
Alia, I said Alia as well. And then
Alia,
you've got
yeah, of course, and Diana Baig, Nashra. How many have
yeah.
I said? I'm just counting off everyone at this point.
I think you
Um,
need one more essay. And one more is probably gonna be if you want to go with a slow left arm, probably Anusha, which would be fun for her. But I think the Mehani.
Umme
And
Hani, probably Umme Hani.
and that's an interesting one. I feel like what Hani offers in the squad, and I'm just going off what we saw recently in domestic, by the way, is
Yeah,
someone who's a tail ender who can bat and like
yeah.
we're still reeling, by the way, listeners. I don't know when you guys this. Zoha and I are still reeling from the second ODI versus Afghanistan. So we love a tail ender who can bat. And honestly, like I think in a couple of games, maybe it was in the Emerging Asia Cup or maybe it was in the domestic cup. Honestly, I don't know. Everything's jumbled. They sent Mehani ahead of Fatma. And I was really
They
frustrated.
did. They did that. I think in the Emerging Asia Cup because like, I remember I was like, why did Fatma? Because I think Fatma was captaining then too. So I was like, why did Fatma come down?
And she
But
can
yeah,
bat. She can bat. I think they just wanted to give her game time, which is really cool. And I feel like it's a good sign for her because she's bowling really well. So if she's
yeah,
batting a bit in the death overs, when you've already got people like Diana and typically we have someone like Tuba who can hit. And of course you've got a Rube and then you've got Fatma as well, who are quite strong with the bat. So it's really fun. And you and I were also talking about just a little while earlier, which I think we should bring up here, is the Sidra Amin question, which is she
yeah.
going to with Muniba, or are they going to be brave enough to put Shawal in the first game and then be like, go do your thing? I would say I think that we're still on the more conservative side when it comes to these things. And I also think that they wouldn't want to drop Sidra just like that. Although I would say, why not? Like it's a bilateral, go for it. Drop her. Like let them compete for the opening spot. We've been looking for someone to fill that gap. We tried Javeri and Sidra between them so many times, and neither was really working perfectly. Javeri is past her prime. You can argue that Sidra was never meant to be a T20 batter, which is no fault of her own. She's a brilliant ODI bat, which means her like core batting ability is like well set, but she's just not meant to for T20s anyways. So I would want them to start with Shawal, but I feel like they're going to go Sidra and Muniba. What do you think?
I mean, I think I don't. Of course, I don't know what their plans are, like concrete plans are. But I do think that um having Shawal there, especially I think she played that ODI practice match where she got a 50. If I'm not wrong, because I only saw the scorecard GRC posted. Then though there was a proper scorecard, they just posted the scores, right? And
Yeah,
wait, let me pull it if I have.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, it was a 50 over practice game. Bisma had 69, Sidra Amin had 60, and Shawal had 59. And Fatma Sana, this is 50 overs, but Fatma Sana had 2 wickets, Gulam Fatma had 2 wickets, Sadia Iqbal had 2 wickets. So Shawal is not like completely out of the picture. I think that she's in it. I I hope they start with her. Not because I have anything against Sidra Amin. I just think that like I said earlier, this is a good time for us to start with a new approach with this new crop of players. So playing with Shawal, like it would be a good starting point as any. Okay, because the way Shawal plays as well, no offense to Sidra Amin, I do like Sidra Amin, but like having Muniba and Shawal start with Bisma coming, that's a solid top order. So I'd like to see that, but yeah, it'd be okay if they start with Muniba and Sidra and then sit one of them out. But I just think Shawal should get a game because now
Yeah.
that they're backing her up enough to have her in the squad, she should get game time too. Because yeah, what's wrong with that?
Yeah. You know what I think will be interesting as well is that abhi jo hai Asian games jo aa rahi hai, usme Bisma can't go because of the rules that they have with family and all of
Yeah,
that. They can't family members along, which is completely understandable, of course. So Sadaf Shams is in the squad, and I believe they're kind of working on fitting her into that number three, not number four spot because Nida's quite solid there, but number three spot in Bisma's absence. So if Bisma is here for this series, but she's not here for Asian games, and you've got Sadaf Shams who is what, like 1 T20 old, um, you would want ideally to give Sadaf a game or all three so that she can have like that experience before we go into the Asian games. Because in the Asian games, it's gonna move quick. We have what, a quarterfinal, and then we have like hopefully when that we have like a match versus India, and then depending on the outcome, we have like a one or two more matches. So it's gonna move really quickly. It's not fair to throw her into the Asian games and be like, player number three, that's a really important position for our team because God bless our openers, but someone is always out very early. And this one needs to kind of salvage that very early, most of the time. So asking Sadaf to take up that mantle without any experience in the South Africa series would be unfair. So I would argue, as much as I want to see Bisma bat, and she's been in amazing form as well, especially at home. I would argue that Sadaf should play at least two of the games, and that should be at three. Um,
yeah.
at the worst, maybe four. But like you would be moving everyone else down. I don't know. I don't see the point in that. But yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's bringing me back to what we were talking about yesterday. I think yesterday when I said कि Bisma sometimes reminds me of Misbah. कि वो भी उसके like when she's batting, it has the same level of sukoon and tasalli as Misbah did, which is why I was kind of freaking out when I read the spot for the Asian Games, and I was like, oh no, Bisma is not going up. हमारा क्या होगा? Especially because bilaterals it's still different, but in tournaments it's a little different because Bisma adds that I don't know if stability is the right word, but I think the balance to the other side के चलो wicket गिर रही है एक बंदा सुकून से खड़ा हुआ है, which is I guess stability, but also like I don't know what I'm talking about. I think I'm missing this part to the point कि मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा what we're gonna do. I am kind of panicking, but I don't want to like panic other people too. I think I'm too used to seeing Bisma batters through the harder phases of the game. Like I think um her previous जितनी भी memorable knocks हैं, they've come like this. वो आहिस्ता, she's not too loud. She's just there and she's doing her job. And then after she's done, you look back to the scorecard and then you see. I think in the India game, if I'm not wrong, she did that. मुझे
Yeah,
भूल रहा है. Yeah, like if I'm forgetting, I'm sorry, but it was in the World Cup. She did it, I think, against India. And like I think that was one of her signature knocks. वो यही करती है. She's just standing there and doing her thing, and then very slowly, very quietly, and then after the game's done, you look back at her knock and you're like, "Oh, Bisma, you're so good." But but yeah, I think like you said, Asian Games में दूसरा ये भी है कि they're from like the official statement and the PR releases में यही था कि they're also trying to have a mix of younger players and like older ones. So I think that also works with Bisma not being there. Okay, you're also like she's not the only person who's new to the team. There will be other experiments too. So I think with Sadaf there, I think Anusha is gonna be there. Tuba is not going there either. So Arup, that's like you're trying to get a lot more space to experiment, and I think that's both a good thing. Of course, it's bad if you start losing a lot, but it's a good thing as well because then you learn from your mistakes. You know where you're lagging. You know what you want to improve, and you know how to do that with like you have a lot again. This I think like touch wood, but certainly we do have a very good batch of players coming, which can and hopefully inshallah will fulfill all these roles. Aisha Naseem was one of them, but like when she retired, maybe we won't have an immediate replacement, but we will, because we constantly, with the emerging Asia Cup, we saw, not the emerging Asia Cup as well, with the under-19 World Cup as well. Our younger girls are good. So like I'm not too hung up on our mistakes. I think I want to not be too hung up on our mistakes. I know it's easier to say that, and I'm saying that right now, but I'll probably be a little mad. But I like, this should be a reminder for myself and everyone else. I'm not gonna be too hung up over the Asian Games, whatever the result will be. I'm taking it as what has been said in the official, statement. It's gonna be a mix of experienced players and non-experienced players. So like, let's take it at that. It will be a learning curve. So yeah, I think I
Yeah.
rambled too much, but yeah.
Maybe. I think that was good. No, I think so T20s, just to recap. Um, I mean, I don't think we're done talking about this because I do want to talk about Tuba, but just to recap, playing 11 would be Muniba, Shawal, Bisma, or Sadaf, Nida, Natalia Pervez. That's who you didn't mention who
Yeah.
was Kassim. Who I really hope comes good, because listen, you're coming at the back of like regional performances and a couple of domestic performances. It's about time you come good in international, especially like, I mean, she can hit. Okay, I just need her to not mess it up first ball, second ball, which is what's been happening. Like every time she's
Yeah.
stuck around, she's been doing good in domestic. So I just really need her to do that. I mean, I feel like that's the worst advice ever. Just like, don't get out early, Natalia. But like, that's the only thing I can pray for right now. And then of course you've got Alia, you've got Fatma, and then you've got Arub, and either Umehani or Anusha, whatever, and then and Diana, and Nasha. And so I think that our
Yeah.
T20 is pretty uncomplicated. I feel like it is really confusing to me still that Tuba isn't there. And not just in the T20 squad, but in the ODI squad as well. Kind of feel like that,
Yeah.
like there's a meme or something that's like, I mean, I don't know, what did Tuba do wrong? So kya galti hai? Like, um,
Mm.
you've got options, yes. You've got a Rube in T20s, and you've got Ghulam Fatma in ODIs.
Yeah.
Um, but Tuba was our first choice in both. So what happened? I mean,
Also, like, I don't know how popular, I think this is popular between you and me, but I don't know how popular idea is with the rest. But I was thinking, with Aroop there, with Ghulam Fatma there, you could potentially use this series for Tuba to work on her batting. Like, usse sare overs na karwao. Get or Ghulam Fatma to do the overs in like their specific formats, but Tuba focuses on her batting in both formats, because we need that. We need a solid all rounder, spin, like we need that. I've been saying that since forever. I feel like I've gone mad trying to say ke Tuba ko all rounder bana lo. Like I think she has a like I don't know if I'm forgetting because my memory bahut kharab hai, but I know that she started as a batter and then she became a leg spinner. So like,
yeah.
why are you doing that to us? Like, make her bad. This is great. This is great opportunity. She shouldn't have been dropped at all. She should have played, and she should have played as a batter, like potentially up the order. But I don't know, with like lesser responsibility with the ball, more with the bat. But I don't know. Maybe they had something in their mind. I hope whatever it is, it's not that Tuba's being dropped from their plans, which I think shouldn't, like, I don't want to be concerned about it, because I know Fatma and Tuba are the two players that everyone's been talking about since their debuts. Tuba's only recently, since like 1 or 2 years, how like she debuted last year, or
1 year. It's been a long year though. If
yeah,
it
it feels like forever. And what a debut she had, by the way. For those who haven't watched those games, go back. शादाब खान ने भी ट्वीट किया था उसके कि she bowled the perfect leg spinning delivery. So yeah, but yeah, I think this is a missed opportunity. They should have played Tuba as a batter, but
I
oh
really
well.
feel this is the kind of like hipster in me and Zoha coming out, कि हम like कह रहे हैं कि तुबा की बैटिंग जो है ना आप यूटिलाइज करें जैसे कोई domestic match चल रहा है and you can send them in any order. But no, serious talk though, if she started out as a pure batter and then they somehow found out that she has like a real affinity for leg spin or however it went, fine, she was meant for leg spin and she's damn good at it as well, like kudos to her. But yeah, no, I completely agree. And I also feel like ugly domestic season May, which I don't know if we're gonna have another one this year because our recent one was so weirdly timed. Like we never really know when our next one is. Whenever it is, I really feel like they should try her up the middle order. Or she should
Yeah.
be trying, or like honestly just tell us what's going on. Like why is she not here? Like you could tell Zoe and I are going a little bit crazy. Like
Huh.
it doesn't make
She's one of my favorites. Like I love Tuba. I don't know why she's missing in action all the time because I know she's not injured. So I don't know.
also
But yeah,
around in all the practice games. Anusha Nasser posted a story after we won the second ODI versus Afghanistan, the men's team. And Tuba's in the video,
yeah.
like she's sitting with Fatma, so she's around, she's fine. Like it's not like, like she's disappeared off the face of the earth as a certain cricketer just didn't give us.
I get backing Aroob and Gulam Fatma. I'm not against either of them. They're great players. Um, but yeah, what's wrong with having Tuba in there too? Like
Oh,
I don't understand
exactly.
the exclusion. I understand the logic behind having both of them, but I don't understand the logic of not having Tuba. But
Yeah.
hopefully, as the series goes, maybe they can answer this question.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I feel like when I found out about the Asian Games squad, I also found out that it can't be changed unless, God forbid, we have an injury. So it's not even like, oh, they're gonna see how things go. And then, we were also like there were rumors floating around that Tuba was gonna be included in the South Africa series squad. And that she was just being excluded for Asian Games for some reason. We were like, okay, I mean, personal commitments, shayad honge, and then she's not in this either. So for our ODI squad, then, um, she adds a good bit of batting depth, especially over there, because she's not exactly like I love her. I wouldn't call her a power hitter, like or something really like a tail ender who can hit a six. I like when she's at the crease, when she comes to the crease right at the end, you can tell she can read the deliveries. So
Yeah.
that's why Zoe and I are like, she can bat, Uh, so in ODIs, I would have especially helped. But without her, should we name our 11?
Oh,
And then we're talking.
we can try.
Yeah. Okay. Maniba, Sidra,
Yeah.
and I would want Sadaf to be at 3 here, and then we can put Bisma at 4. She works fine at 4. And then of course you've got Nida. It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Nida, Alia, and
Alia at 6, and then probably like Fatma.
yeah. It's probably gonna start with Fatma and Diana, Mehani, Ghulam, Nashr Sandhu, if you want Sadia there, I don't know. Oh, they probably will put you know how they do Sidra Nawaz in ODIs, or they might go with Umema Sohail.
Umaima
Who,
Sohail, I'm about to say that they might have Umaima Sohail in there.
you know, I really have I actually don't hate the idea of Umema in ODIs as much as actually never mind. No, I dislike the idea of Umema in both formats right now. She's really young. I don't remember her age.
Wait, let
But
me check.
yeah, check. She's young and she's not like, pushing 30 or anything. Wow.
26. She's 26.
So she's quite young. But it really does feel like we can't rely on her with the ball in both formats.
Yep.
And bless her soul, we cannot rely on her with the bat, really. She's had some decent-ish knocks. I feel like even Sidra Nawaz had like a random moment of heroism at one point in the domestic cup. Do you remember?
What she did.
Yeah, that was something. That was really amazing. And Mehmet had those bursts as well. I feel like sometimes when I'm looking up numbers, I randomly see that Mehmet is like striking at 120 in ODIs versus some sort of bowling type, and she's got a decent sample size. And I'm like, because Mehmet has really good intent. Like no matter what she's coming out to, which is usually like a mini collapse of sorts, she'll just start trying to hit, which I really respect. But no, when you've got money, you've got Nida. I don't think we need a memo. I really don't.
Yep. I think with Umaima, she's a little unfortunate too, in the sense that what you just said with Umehani and Nida there,
Yeah.
her role then becomes redundant because she can hit. She has the intent, but it's not Aisha Naseem level. Sorry for bringing Aisha Naseem again, but it's just to like prove a point. It's not Aisha Naseem level, and then she's not offering enough with the ball to counter what Nida or Umehani are doing. So then she's sort of stranded in the middle. And then like I think she's unfortunate in that sense, but yeah, I don't think like I don't think the cost of having her in the squad is enough. Like usse kuch fayda nahi ho raha hai. It might like put the balance off of the squad, so I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
rather have Sidra Nawaz, I'm not gonna lie, because she's so very good with her keeping. She's still offering something. Although the concept of a specialist keeper is way, way outdated. But like if you're making me choose, I'll choose her.
yeah, I'd probably do that too. But although I like Umaima, no more than I like Sidra, but yeah.
It's also really fun. Like I see her vibe and I'm like, my God, you're such a character.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for her because I feel like she shouldn't there is, because she's still 26, there is still so much potential with her. She shouldn't be pigeonholed into a bits and pieces cricketer. It's not fair. It's frustrating to see her get that box, but again, she's still young. I really feel like they keep persisting with her, which means they see something in her. And I hope that we see it too soon, especially if she plays the series consistently and then she plays the Asian games. My God, because if they don't, it's just gonna be frustrating and it's not fun. Especially, I think in women's cricket it's harder still because the pool is so small. You get to know every player. Well, you don't really get to know them, but you know every player kind of intimately in terms of what their strengths and weaknesses are. And so watching her kind of struggle with it again will just be really frustrating.
You know how we were just talking about Tuba, like if she was in the ODI squad, she could bat at age. Like that's the kind of things I'm trying for them to figure out because Tuba is the kind of player who could do that. Like I can see her doing that. Abhi usne kiya nahi hai, obviously because she hasn't gotten the chance. But again, like batting at 8, coming after Fatma, she could. Tuba is the kind of player you'd back to bat at 8, see the innings through, or uh, but yeah, whatever they're planning, I don't know what they're planning. So whatever they're planning, I hope they're keeping this in mind. कि उनके पास और options है. I'm not even trying to be subtle here. Like my bias for Tuba is so clear. But honestly, I've been pushing this Tuba as a batter agenda so much. मैं ये भी नहीं चाहती कि ऊपर खेले. बस number 8 pick ला लो. I know she'll do good. This is just one of my inklings. Like she has that batter somewhere in her. I just know that.
See, if this comes good, right? This idea works. You got Fatma at 7, then you got Tuba at 8, and Diana can bat. You
Yeah.
got her, and then you got Umehani, who will just like whack a few 48th, 49th, and 50th over. What have you got? You got full 11, man.
That's a solid. Like honestly, not to like name any names, but I'm gonna say not to name any names and then just say the name. But we've seen Mohammad Nawaz at number 8 do good for Pakistan. That's a spin all rounder in the men's team. Maybe we could have something similar in the women's team. Have a spin all rounder at number 8. Not to name any names again. This was just an example. I'm not pushing any agenda.
Yeah, yeah, I really think that this is going to be interesting. We said at the start, okay, we're going to see Nida captain. I just realized Mark Coles is gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, we didn't even see what to do, to be honest, because there was nothing going on when he was here. I don't know why he was here. And then when we went to the World Cup, we didn't really have a coach. I mean, Salim Jaffer was stepping in, but that was for ages. We haven't had a coach for a very, very long time. I think, God, before the Ireland series, I don't even know. Basically, we're going to see how this new setup thinks. And I mean, I know that Bisma probably still has a little bit of say just because like Bisma and Nida are quite close and Bisma was a captain when Nida was vice captain. I don't know who the vice captain is. It would be really funny if Nida is a captain and Bisma is a vice captain.
I hope they announce I think they'll announce Fatma as vice captain. I hope they do, but yeah.
I thought they would do it with the squad.
Yeah, I think
And
so too.
yeah, and she's 21. I don't know, sometimes I forget that she's just 21. When Laura Wolfra was announced to be a South Africa's interim captain, her interim means, by the way, I think I switched captains so many times recently. Anyways, I was like, oh my gosh, she's just 24. And then I was like, oh wait, that's around Fatma's age. Like we can hope. And then I looked it up and I was like, 21.
Yeah, Fatma's 21.
Yeah, like I forget that she's just 21. Like that's way younger than me, by the way. She's so much more with her life. But anyways, but yeah, so it's gonna be fun to see how the new coach is handling everything, and it's cool that we've got like ex-cricket Naida involved. There was a really cute picture that they posted, where
Yeah,
like the
it's so cute.
standing
Yeah,
around and pointing
yeah.
at I thought that was so cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool series.
Also, I am a little wary about Nida's captaincy because, like, I know she's a great player, but her captaincy in the exhibition matches didn't really convince me all that much. But I'm giving her room because that was still, that wasn't international cricket. This, I think, I'm gonna be a little more strict on her. So I hope she does good. I pray she does good, but like, it's a big thing for us as well. Looking ahead because to be honest, it was a very like when the decision was announced that Nida is gonna be captain, it came as a surprise to me because throughout the previous few years, Bisma Barber bol rahi thi ke they're gonna groom a younger captain, they're gonna groom a younger captain. So the idea, so I still in my head, it still doesn't make a lot of sense why Nida was chosen to be captain. But I hope she proves me wrong in this series and like she does good to her captaincy. But I'm still looking for that answer, so I will be watching Nida. I don't know why that sounded threatening. I'm not being threatening. I meant in a I'll be observing how she does because
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sense of this decision because like you said they haven't announced the vice captain yet, which I think unofficially everyone understands Fatma Sana to be the vice captain. She led the team during the Asia Emerging Asia Cup too. And I think a lot of us did. I mean, I did. I really thought they would announce Fatma as captain after Bisma stepped down. I thought it was either going to be her or Muniba, but uh, it was neither of them. It was Nida, so I'm trying to make sense of that. And I hope that Nida does well and like again uses this series to sort of mentor the younger like players like Fatma. Because as much as it pains me to say this, Nida, Alia, Bisma are all of them are towards the end of their careers. Like max 3 saal bhi zyada. If I give zyada to 3 saal, all three of them you're gonna be in the setup, and then
Yeah.
it's gonna be completely new people. So I want the younger ones to have that because see in Pakistan ये सब बहुत देर देर तक खेलती हैं. Like Nida has been there for I don't know how long, but forever. Alia has been there forever. Biswa has been there forever.
Yeah.
Because of the way Pakistan ka jo system hai, they start young and then they stay in the team for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with them gone, suddenly a vacuum create hoga, which I don't want that to impact our team too much. So I
Yeah.
want like Fatma, you just said जब Bisma stepped down, suddenly like obviously we wanted Fatma to be named as captain, but Fatma wasn't ready. Like if you talk about completely on a tactical level, she isn't ready to captain yet. So I don't want that to keep happening. I want them to constantly have this cycle in place where अभी से ही वाइस कैप्टन अनाउंस करो और उसी को कैप्टन बना दो. I don't know like how you can make sure this happens, but like I'd like that. So this series I want that to happen too. Uh, ये men's team में भी नहीं होता अभी तक तो women's team में I don't know if this is even a priority, but I hope it does.
Yeah, and Honestly, you're completely right, because if they announce one right now, and honestly, you know what, announce भी ना करे, अगर उनको like private रखनी है बात, ठीक है, अब
हाँ
point अपने आप में उसको groom करते रहे. If you
हाँ
announce, तो करना चाहिए, obviously, because that person, whoever the vice captain is, making calls on the field. For example, if Nidal is there,
yeah
or even competing with Nidal. So they need to announce it, and they need to start grooming them, because right now, just if you give them one season, right, what is coming up in the next year or so is like you've got an away series, West Indies maybe, or home series versus Bangladesh. Honestly, I might be doing these two. You've got a lot of emerging. You've got emerging tours. You've got under 19 tours.
yeah
Communities in the domestic circuit as well. They're also holding trials, and I think if they're paying 74 cricketers, they're also going to build a system for them as well. We've got so many things coming up, and it'll be a great opportunity for the captain and the vice captain to really become the face of Pakistan cricket.
हाँ
Bisma was an incredible captain. She was never really the face of Pakistan cricket, because it's always about men's cricket. Women's cricket is always shunted aside, to the point of she was getting that award that Babar got as well, or I think Babar got like a higher level or whatever. Um, People were like, "Isko kyun de rahe hain?" Even though, like, okay, come on, don't be silly. You know who Bisma Maroof is. I mean,
हाँ
I'm 25 in I'm 25 in a month or so. And I've grown up with her. Like, she
yeah
debuted as a baby, like I was a kid, like a proper kid. And everyone knows who Bisma Maroof is. Everyone knows who Midadar is. They need
yeah
to be more visible, and they need to be like aage aage, like they need to be commenting publicly on domestic performances of other players, being like, "Oh, well done." Like,
yeah
like baap does. Like, sabka baap bana
and
hota hai, well done to this guy. That's
हाँ
what you yeah.
honestly like I say it with a lot of love and respect in my heart. But if you're only lauding Bisma Maroof when you see her with her baby in her arms, that's not promoting women's cricket in Pakistan. And this I'm not talking about like the players themselves or PCB. I'm talking about the fans who only like want to interact with Bisma's um this image. She's doing everything. She's a mother and she's a player. So like I'm not naming any accounts, but I've seen accounts who otherwise never comment on women's cricket suddenly Lord ke, oh Bisma Maroof, she's a superwoman because like she's touring with her baby in her arm. Um, first of all, obviously no man could ever, but that is not supporting women's cricket. Supporting women's cricket is like actively watching their games and actually watching them the way they're supposed to, not like oh इसने catch drop कर दिया इसीलिए इनको खेलना ही नहीं चाहिए. Like honestly, that is the kind of things that I feel like are holding women's cricket back because, like, I think, like, to be very frank, the reason men's cricket thrives in Pakistan is because people in Pakistan are so emotionally attached to it. They'll never let it die down. But in Pakistan, you have to have that same, you know, you have to back your girls the same way you back your boys, I think, uh, to put it lightly.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I really feel like कि अब hopefully we're gonna get the women's PSL, and we're getting an improved domestic system again, hopefully, and all of those things can't be held in isolation. You need fans to be involved. You need fans to be like loud and supportive. I don't know when this is gonna go up, but tickets are meant to go on sale soon. Right now, when we're recording this, we're a week away from the tour starting versus South Africa, and ideally the tickets should have been on sale now, but
Yeah.
for some reason they're going to be on sale soon, and it would be really really great if everyone could just go in the evenings and watch some play cricket. And people showed up for domestic men's cricket, and I get that we can't force people to care about women's cricket or whatever else, like we'll say in our mentions. But I really think if you love sports, you don't deep gender that much,
Yeah.
honestly. I can't imagine. Like, the
And
new
also,
sport.
इस दफा तो ये भी एक्सक्यूज नहीं है कि वो लाइक गलत टाइम पे हो रहे हैं बिकॉज लाइक पहले जो मैचेस थे वो बहुत वियर्ड टाइम पे हो रहे थे आई एग्री बट अभी तो डे लाइक they'll be playing under the lights ये तो हमें बात लाइक वो I don't like this is 2023 we're celebrating it right now but we are celebrating this but our girls are gonna be playing under light but yeah
Yeah.
The matches are, I think the T20 matches start at 7:30 and the ODIs start at 3:30. So they're at good time. अभी एक सील भी नहीं है कि अच्छे time पे नहीं हो रहे. So like people should go watch. If I was in
Yeah.
Karachi and tickets are going on sale soon, so everyone should go watch. Yeah.
Yeah, and also we don't know who the broadcaster are because it's clashing with the Asia Cup, so who knows what's happening with that.
Yeah.
But hopefully, like check ARY's app, TapMad, I don't know, GeoSport, no, GeoSports doesn't do anymore. eSport, P3 Sports, 10 Sports. Someone or
Honestly,
the
yeah, it's fine if you can watch the 100 and I don't know LPL at the same time between two screens. You can watch the Asia Cup and Women's Tour at the same time. It's fine. Like I know people were watching that, so like no excuses. I know you guys were watching split screen the 100 and LPL and what's the name of the Canadian series and the American series, whatever they call. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting.
सोचो, we know so many things in men's cricket. Women's cricket को समझना और याद रखना is very easy. Trust
हाँ.
me. We
We
have
don't
to
have
remember.
anything abhi. Actually, this is a good time to get into women's cricket because abhi kuch bhi nahi hai. So you can like when other people join, you can say कि I was here before you, and then you can be like, oh, I know more than you do. It's like
Plus,
I know sports fans love doing that, so it's great opportunity.
what we have coming up is West Indies and Bangladesh, fine. But those are going to be competitive as hell, by the way. I wouldn't
हाँ.
be surprised if we win both of those. And then
हाँ.
we've got England, New Zealand, if you want to see some like, fancy white people or whatever. So basically there's a lot of good cricket coming, and like Zoha said,
हाँ.
we get to have the gatekeeping kind of I love gatekeeping. Like it's really easy to know women's cricket, and a lot of people don't make even the minimum amount of effort
हाँ.
to get to. You have to remember a total of 15, 20 people's names. Like I'll be real with you.
Yeah.
I love it so much. But there's not that many options right now. Get in right now before
You
it
know,
gets bad.
Iman, how like sometimes like dude bros they ask you, okay, oh, you watch cricket? South Africa के coach का क्या नाम है? I'm gonna start doing that with men. You watch cricket? मुझे 20 women's cricketer पाकिस्तानी बताओ. अभी 20 के नाम बताओ.
Otherwise,
And if
watch men's cricket, and then we know you like just
yeah,
men, fine.
just tell me 20 women cricketers who are actively playing right now. वो सना मीर, रूजवा, मुमताज का बोल के कहेंगे हाँ.
Nida Dar Sanam Mir, itne pata ho gaya, I think. But yeah, anyways, enough mocking of
Yeah. This is just us welcoming you to women's cricket.
So, and I've had to face a lot of unfair kind of hit from people about women's cricket. So honestly, this is probably just like a much needed event session before the season
Yeah.
starts. But yeah, like we have a lot to look forward to in women's cricket. Obviously, there's a lot going on in men's cricket as well. But hopefully, we hope that everyone listening will find some time to also follow women's cricket and
Yeah.
bring home a sweet win. I think I would accept score lines of 2-1, 2-1 to us. I will accept a
Yeah.
loss each.
Huh.
I feel like that's far too optimistic. But you know what? I'm asking. I can ask for whatever I want. I'm not stupid enough to ask for a whitewash in both. So
I agree. I agree completely. I think it's a good note to end it here. Yeah, whoever's watching, please do watch the games, follow the games. And if you follow me and Iman on Twitter, you'll see us tweeting about the games too. So you can't escape these games, so might as well watch them. And yeah, I think that is enough for this episode. We'll see you in the next, hopefully, review of the series, the South Africa series, I mean. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
bye.